have an interesting training for you guys today. My name is Serge Gattari. I run clientacquisition.io, which is essentially a growth firm where we come into companies, look at where they're at and where they need to be, and we implement an infrastructure which essentially elevates the constraints into their business and allows more throughput. The reason why a company won't scale is because they have different bottlenecks in their company, and what we essentially do using systems, processes, things that we research, trends, insights that we find in different industries, we come into and implement into companies so we can allow them to handle more volume. I actually did a whole breakdown on how we do this and how I essentially went from working in the basement as an agency owner doing appointment setting, commoditized, only getting people to pay me 1.3K per month, 1.3K and 1.2K, to essentially moving into a model that allows people to pay me $15,000, $20,000 for me to come into their business and implement these new infrastructures. And we also have a lot of clients doing the same thing in over 50 niches right now. The same model that allowed me to collect $1 million in 90 days in my second year of running clientacquisition.io. Now, the point of me making this training today is not actually about build and release or the model or even show you guys what we do on the back end. It is not that. If you want that, click the link below and you're going to get to see the full breakdown that I did. But today I want to talk to you guys about something that I've been noticing. Okay, for those who are online and who are familiar of the traditional way of growing a business, all you needed to do before to actually be successful was figure out a service or a product that you want to sell. Figure out a traffic channel, traffic source for you to put this offer, this service in front of people. So get eyeballs, right? And then you needed something like a funnel to turn that traffic, that attention into something that is desired. It could be, if you're running e-com, then it could be purchases of products, right? If you're running a service business, high ticket offer, coaching, consulting, agency service, then you would probably need a call to happen, right? So this is like a generate sales calls. And then from here, you would end up with clients. Here, you would end up with customers. This is what it takes to grow a business normally. Now, what happens when everybody has the same service as you? There's no uniqueness to your value. What happens when everybody's advertising on the same acquisition channels? I'm going to tell you what happens. What happens when everybody's pushing the same thing as you? Then you become a commodity. When you become a commodity, you lose pricing power. When you lose pricing power, you lose what? Margins. This is so funny because I don't have an MBA or never went to business school, but I spent so much time, dealing with business that this is literally like, anyway, I'm about to give you guys like years of learnings in like 10 minutes, okay? So keep paying attention. When everybody starts doing the same thing as you, there's no more margins. There's no more like get rich quick opportunity there. When everybody's using the same acquisition channels as you, well, guess what? It becomes more expensive to advertise. And even worse, the platform becomes inefficient. The inefficiency comes from the market becoming more sophisticated. And look at what happens. All of this added together, guess what? Less margins. This here, commoditization, leads to less margins. Competition on advertising platforms becomes what? Leads to less margins. Okay? Same thing here. If everybody using those, this checkout page is done in 5 minutes, or you have 1 day left to purchase, or on your call funnel, you're like, hey, come in or book a call or you don't pay, right? Once every single lead has seen those same funnels over and over and over again, Kai Bax is doing it, Cole Gordon is doing it, every single person, copycats of all these guys are doing it. So now what happens is, I personally have hundreds and hundreds of businesses in my community, and whenever we're on calls, I like to ask them, like, hey guys, who has booked or bought an offer from someone saying, I'll do this or you don't pay recently? And most of them are like it actually turns me off. The problem here is even your funnel becomes inefficient for the same reasons as the previous one, which is market becomes more sophisticated. Once people have seen the same offer, or like layout or funnel, it doesn't work the same, right? Which is why it has led an entire market of marketers to start saying, hey, please do what I want you to do because there's no risk, you won't pay if it doesn't work. Like that is a reaction to the market level of sophistication. If you went into banking, or actually banking works the same way. Like there's so many banks and they're literally trying to compete with each other that they're like, hey, there are no fees. You can store your money with us and things like that. That's essentially what's happening with the online space. It's like we're almost like evolving into markets that are so competitive that the only way to get clients is if you work for free. Okay, but it doesn't work because you're selling your time. You're not a software. It's not like you have zero marginal cost of replicating your value, right? Your cost is your life. Okay. Anyway, that's a tangent. Let's keep going. So all of this leads to what? These businesses not being sustainable, durable, and everyone who runs this type of does this type of funnels, this type of businesses, goes out of business after 2 to 3 years. I would say 2 to 3 years max. Most people in these niches disappears. I have people who in 2020, when I quit my 9 to 5 to start a business, to start an agency, who were gurus back then, who are nowhere to be found. Same thing in 2021. I had people who, when I started an appointment setting agency, tried to copy me, nowhere to be found. I have people in 2022 who were around, they were gurus. Today, nowhere to be found. But then there's something I've been seeing. There's a group of people who are still around regardless of what's going on with rising ad costs, with decreasing conversion rates on both calls, people buying. You have people who've made like millions, multiple 8 figures in the last 5 years, who are almost incapable of even getting 100 likes on their Instagram profile. Because I saw the other day, someone with 600,000 followers with like 200 likes on their Instagram. I was like, how do you go from being a thought leader, someone that people look up to only having, out of 600,000 followers, only 200 people who still like you? Like, to me, it's one of the even, let's just say that it's not even the audience fault. Even the algorithm don't want to serve your content to more of your followers because they know that all you're trying to do is pitch, get traffic, put them in a funnel, and try to monetize them right away. If you think that business is this easy, and a lot of people are starting businesses trying to help creators do this funnel, I'm like, guys, there is no durability. Everybody goes out of business with this model. So I want to show you guys what we've started doing from looking at how inefficient this funnel gets over time. And this is how I'm running not just clientacquisition.io, but this is how I'm running every single partner's business. If you ever become a partner with us, this is how we're going to run the business. We're not going to just use one funnel to grow. Okay? What we want is durability and sustainability. And the only way to do that is to leave more goodwill in the marketplace and create more goodwill than we're taking out, than we're squeezing out of the marketplace. Let me show you how we do it. I personally want to run top of funnel and education business, okay? Like I'm doing right now with this video, right? And then I'm going to first show you guys the main components of this business, and then I'm going to essentially break each one down, okay? Then after that, I want to have a service, second variable, and then I want to have partnership or a layer of ownership. If you understand these 3 layers, you're going to be fine, okay? Here is how it's going to work. The education business purpose, let's first start with purpose. The purpose of it is to trust. We're in the trust economy, guys. I have people right now who've spent a lot of money with me, not necessarily because I'm the best, or not necessarily because I have the nicest watch, or not necessarily because I live in a penthouse, not necessarily because they just genuinely like me because I've poured in them, I've invested in them more than I've tried to take from them when they entered our ecosystem. It's like I've invested so much time, I've given them so many insights that they would be willing to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars working with us, and prefer having me be the partner in growing their business. Okay, how do we do it? Really simple. We prefer YouTube, and we like to create some form of a community. Education business, and by the way, preferably, the monetization model is free. I see some of you guys trying to charge for content and information. I'm like, you don't get it. It's supposed to be free. Or if you charge, then you're already trying to monetize that goodwill. You haven't created goodwill if people are paying for it. I don't care how valuable your knowledge is, even the thing I'm about to talk about. I don't care how valuable what I'm about to talk about is. If I charge you $10 for it, then you put your guards up and you're like, if he doesn't meet the $10 worth of value or exceed it, I'm never going to click on any of his videos again. I'm never going to even respond to his email. I'm actually going to unsubscribe from everything. Okay. So a lot of you guys are making the mistake to try to monetize on information in these school communities. I'm like, you're so dumb. You're so dumb. Information is one of the easiest thing to copy. So you should make it as low barrier of entry as possible, preferably making it free. We like to do this. So you can look at it like this. You're going to get ads to bring in leads or your organic content, okay? This is going to feed your top of funnel. And then from your top of funnel, push them to your education. Don't try to monetize them right away, okay? Don't try to monetize. Trust me, don't try to monetize them. Please do not. Then out of this funnel, okay, I'm going to minimize this. Out of this funnel here, what is going to happen is that, let's say you're putting maybe 1,000 people per month are going through this education layer of your business. It's on free, YouTube, whatever. Then you're going to be creating a lot of goodwill with 1,000 people, maybe 100 of them. And then maybe 50 leads a month, 50 prospects per month who've consumed your content are going to have consumed everything where they know what you provide, the value you provide, and how you can help them, enough that you can now generate what? Sales calls. But guess what? The cost of the sales call is going to be infinitely lower than if you try to take them from the ad straight to booking a call. But here's also what's going to be good. All the other metrics are going to be amazing. Think about show rate, show up rate. I mean, I'm going to just the cost per booked call, even cost per lead for showing interest is going to be cheap. It might even be free. Cash close rate is going to be amazing. Okay. And also cash per closed, average cash collected, average cash per closed deal. So this, I mean, the average money you collect per closed client, if they came from this funnel, which is the education-led funnel, the average spend, I actually did track this in our company. I looked at the average cash collected per closed deal from someone who's consumed our content versus someone who's just came from a paid ad lead and then booked a call and then purchased. It is like 1 to 5. This guy will spend 1/5 of what this person will spend. So that means that if you just optimize for here, you're getting 5 times the efficiency. But here's what most people don't understand, is that the efficiency is not just on the cash collected. It is on the show up rate. It is on the lead to booked call rate. So the conversion from lead to booked call is 5 times higher. The show up rate is like 2 to 3 times higher. The average close percentage goes from like 10, 15% to like 30 to 40%, right? So you're getting efficiency at every step of the funnel. Most people don't understand this. And I understand they don't understand this because they don't understand anything. Anyway, let's keep going, okay? Now, here's what's going to happen. LTV, beautiful. These people, the lifetime value of these 50 prospects, you could literally make billions of dollars with just these 50 clients. That's how amazing if you just invest in the relationship before you try to monetize it. Now, check this out. What a lot of people also don't understand is that this is infinitely scalable, contrary to what? To a typical sales funnel, which is I'm going to get traffic, I'm going to get funnels, and then I'm going to get sales calls, and I'm going to onboard. Because here's what you're going to need to build if you actually need to scale this. Every single time you need new creatives. You need new creatives at all times. So you need to become really good at creating ads. Here at the funnel, to keep the funnel profitable, you need the following. Optimize the funnel. You're going to need to hire setters. As the more leads come into the business, as the more people opt in, you're also going to need to hire closers, more closers. But also, when you hire more people in your business, guess what? You also need to hire managers, right? How hard do you think it is to scale a funnel while you're also scaling the team? If you guys have not yet, most people watching this haven't necessarily managed a team as it grows. Guys, if I can wish you guys something, please get into software. Do not run a big company where you're involved in managing a lot of people. Just get into tech, figure out a way to work in AI, because this part of hiring a bunch of setters, hiring closers, and then hiring managers that lead this, and then hiring decision makers to make decisions on the sales process, on the marketing and everything like that, it is going to become chaos. It is going to become chaotic. That's why most people go high and then they end up crushing down, because this part of managing team is the hardest part of running a business. So what most people don't understand is that they're scaling just this funnel, this typical funnel, but they don't understand how complex it gets at scale. The complexity, even if it's just a VSL funnel, trust me, once that conversion rate drops, once the conversion rate drops at every single, connection point, you are in trouble, because you're going to need to hire people to manage those conversion rates. And then once you have more people involved, you are in trouble. Okay. So for me, the way I like to use it is I like to use mechanisms to essentially nurture and sell people in a leveraged way using code and media. Media, I mean content. Okay. Because it's infinitely scalable. I can sit down here, just chill, drink my iced tea, and create 10 videos a day and let it go into the universe and let it find the right people. I can use a little bit of the money I made yesterday. I think we made maybe like 20K, 25K yesterday. I can take the little 5K, say, hey Google, hey YouTube, hey Meta, here's a good content. Please let it find the right people. And then I get those people to consume it. It doesn't cost me to hire. I could even run the ads myself. I could just put up a little note ad and let it run. It's one of the most efficient acquisition front end to run. But if you just try to go ads to a funnel and then to setters and closers and everything and just keep scaling that, good luck managing that. It's rare for people to actually successfully run it. That's why there's only like 5 people in the game who are actually making millions of dollars a month. Okay? It's super hard. So for me, what I'd like to do is I like to run this as our top of funnel, because it scales infinitely, right? And just so you guys, just so I can share with you guys the efficiency of this model, we collect $1 million. Last 2 years, we were averaging $1 million every 90 days in cash collected with one closer. One closer was collecting $1 million himself every 90 days because we do a lot of leveraged marketing and selling on the front end with education. And the education is so valuable that people, by the time they speak with a closer, they just want to send him, they wouldn't send them $15,000. And he just collects he's like an admin. He just reports back the invoice, sends the invoice, makes sure that we have data on the business that we're about to start scaling and working with, right? And then I'm going to explain everything. The way that we deliver here on the service, we like to do something that we can build and release. So we like to build systems, processes, and maybe a database pool, talent pool, where we can essentially take and build it once and implement it to companies multiple times. The reason why you want to do this is because, we scaled this layer to, on average, we do 300K to 500K cash collected, okay, every single month on this front here. And to get this, and this, by the way, is new revenue every month. This is not recurring revenue. This is like 300K of new clients every single month. Okay. It's not like, oh, the last clients paid for this talent or this system, or they're paying monthly. No. I'm not talking about that. This is 3 million plus a year in new clients that we're adding. Now, in order to sustain this level of scale, because it's a lot of business, it's a lot of money, right? In my opinion, you need something that is scalable. So the fulfillment needs to be productized and standardized. Okay. So that's how we fulfill here. And then the last part here is monetization. We like to do a setup fee. We like to get all the money up front. We like to commit. We don't like to settle for, a lot of people are like, oh, but I want percentage. I want to be a growth partner. Oh, but I like the retainer from the agency model where people pay you $1,500 a month and they keep paying. Everybody thinks that churn doesn't exist when they think of pricing and monetization models, right? They're just like, oh, I'd rather someone keep paying me every month than just get a one-off fee. Well, that's if you can retain those people, right? Do you think we're in La La Land, where just because the invoice, the agreement says you should pay me month after month, that people are going to keep paying you month after month? I ran an appointment setting agency. I was churning people after 60 days, and they were only paying me like $1,300 a month. So if I could spend $500 or $1,000 on acquiring them, I would only make money the second month. But guess what? That second month they would leave. So I would have to go replace them. It's like everybody's dreaming about this retainer. So we like to do setup fee one time. Okay. This is a lot more profitable, and we actually end up essentially securing like if they were retainer clients, they would, let's say this would be worth 6 months of retainers. We like to commit it. We'd like to get them to commit to it day one. Okay. And then let me see if there's anything good. And then also what's beautiful here is that the sales argument is really easy. We're selling something tangible assets. We don't like to sell information or advice because in the current state that the market is, there is a lot of competition. So the more you can start selling something tangible, something that is undeniably valuable. So as an example, I'm going to show you guys some of the things we do, like from all the partners we've scaled, we like to essentially map out every single thing that we're essentially building for lead flow, for appointments, and we essentially implement all these infrastructure into their businesses. And these are playbooks, scripts, data collection systems, CRMs, implementation, the way to sell, the scripts, onboarding systems, fulfillment systems. Like, this is stuff that you can't just fake. Like, if I can teach you on it, but it's different from consulting you or coaching you on it than it is for me to actually hand it to you and implement it into your business. So I don't like to sell advice. If advice is not implemented and taken action upon the advice, then people don't get results. If people don't get results, even if you said this is just coaching, this is just consulting, they're going to end up calling you a scammer, because in their mind, the customer is always right. So even if you sell them advice and they don't get results, guess who's to blame? You. So for me, with our incubator, or we still consult businesses, but we like to say, hey, you're buying an infrastructure, you're buying an asset, because you'll be systems, processes, and we also help our clients actually build, recruit, and find teams in their businesses. So we're actually doing work. It's not just some woo-woo stuff. Like, it's not like a loom that you're seeing right now. Nonetheless, information is still valuable AF. Okay? So I'm not saying that information is not valuable. I'm just saying that monetizing it and just selling information, like in a school community, and you have looms in school, if you're in a competitive market, people are not going to keep fucking with you long term. So this is really good. This is essentially it. We're selling something tangible. We're selling it for a lot of money upfront. We're building and releasing it infinite amount of times. It's almost infinitely scalable, but it is not infinitely scalable, right? And the sales argument is good. Okay, now check this out. Out of the best clients here who got our service, out of the smartest, most successful businesses that come out of the service layer, who implement the infrastructure, we actually like to offer them an opportunity to do what? To partner with them, and in exchange of partnership, give them more services. So this actually is where you give done for you value, where you actually do fractional marketing. You do fractional sales. You run a sales team. I have one of my old closer who's doing fractional sales, and his a business is paying him $40,000 per month, right? He recruited the sales team, managed them, and he's just getting paid a percentage of profits, which ends up being $40,000 a month, which is beautiful, right? And so we found the best clients, but guess what? Most people who do growth partnerships will run a paid ad campaign like here, and then get calls, and then get a client, and then they'll throw them right into the partnership portion. But they're like, you haven't even vetted. You don't even know if this person is good. You don't even know if their offer is validated. You don't even know this person is consistent. You don't know if they do drugs at the end of the day. You don't know if they go to church. You don't know if they're trustworthy. You don't even know if they're going to pay you. You don't know nothing. You have no relationship whatsoever with this human, and you think that you're going to take them from an ad to a sales call to paying you a percentage of their business. That's one of the craziest things. If you guys know anything about private equity, it normally takes 6 to 12 months, even years, for people to get into your business and become a partner and even acquire your business. You need to do due diligence. It's not just, oh, I just acquired a partner, a client, they have a nice business, they're a creator, I'm just going to build them a school community, I'm just going to run their ads, I'm going to build their funnels, and then I'm going to get 25%, 50% of their entire business. The only niche or model that I've seen not work is OnlyFans management niche, because models are just posting naked pictures and naked videos or whatever, nude whatever. They're not marketers. So you have so much control, and it's literally technically your business. You're essentially OnlyFans. You're the platform. You're just the service model of the platform, right? That's the only way you can get a model and get them to buy. But even then, they're going to get rid of you if they start making a lot of money every month, and just go find someone better looking, someone with more watches, someone who has a Rolls Royce, things like that, right? So a lot of people don't understand that, like, to have partners, you need to only partner with people that you would be willing to go to war with, and that would also be willing to go to war with you, because scaling a business is hard. And to think that just because someone is willing to work with you on a partnership deal means that you should be working with them, to be honest, in my opinion, is being ignorant. And a lot of ignorant people are online telling that this is like the right thing to do. Okay. Anyway, keep going. So essentially use the service layer, build and release, to build our pool of clients for the partnership idea or the partnership division of the business, right? In exchange of service, we like to get a service fee, a monthly fee. So this would be like the monetize. This is how we essentially monetize and charge. And then we also like a percentage. The percentage is dependent on the business and what we do. If we're doing fractional sales and we essentially are using our sales team to close their deals, you could take, 25% of every cash that is collected, which means you take, 10%, and then you take 15%, 10% goes to a closer, 5% goes to the setters, and you take 10% of profit with the monthly fee, right? This is good. With, let's say, 10 businesses that's all doing $250,000 per month to $1 million a month, let's say average makes $500,000, 25% of 500K is around, if half 25K, it's like 75K a month, right? I believe. Let's do the math. $500,000 times 0.25. Whoa. Oh, wow. That's actually a lot of money. Holy shit. Yeah, so you would take 125K, okay? And then you would take 10% would go to you, right? And then the other, so take 10% would be almost 50%. So like 50K would go to you. And then the 75K, you would pay closers 50K, and then you would pay 25K to the setters, right? On top of the service fee, right? If the math adds up, if you guys want to rewind, then go back to it, right? So if you have like 10 of those businesses, that's $1.25 million. $1 million and $250,000 that goes to your agency, because technically the partnership model works like an agency. You're exchanging your talent in exchange of growth, right? The reason why partnerships are really good is because this is the most leveraged way of pricing, okay? Because you're not getting paid for your time. You're almost like getting paid on equity, on productivity of the machine, of the business, right? Here it's somewhat leveraged, and then here it's the most, it's free, right? Or you can pay subscription. But here you want to, whenever your last tier of service, never give your time unless you own a percentage of the business as you grow it, because ownership is the most. Any billionaires out there, even if you look at Hormozi, the reason why he's moving to private equity and acquiring these businesses instead of doing gym launch like he was doing, charging these one-off fees, is because owning the business you're scaling is means you still get paid, but it's just that you get paid forever. Okay. Now, the beautiful thing here is that this is just you get rich forever. The value really on partnerships is that you get rich forever because you're the most leveraged. You're literally working with the best clients that came out of your service layer, right? So you're not necessarily just getting paid a lot of money, a percentage of the growth. If you want, you can acquire these businesses if you have a lot of cash on hand, or you could just get a percentage of growth. The pricing isn't just the only thing that's leveraged. It's also the people you're working with are also bright. So you multiply the pricing model that is leveraged, and you're also leveraging the fact that the business owners that you're working with are literal geniuses. It's the dream world of any growth consultant, any CEO, to work with smart people and get paid really well. So this is how we're running client acquisition.io, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. We run education front end. So we are an education company, but we're primarily using education to attract future clients, future founders, and we also, that helps us liquidate acquisition cost. I was looking at a business because, for those who don't know, we just essentially built a sales enablement agency in the last 4 weeks. And as I was doing research, I was talking with the closer, my old closer, and he told me about a company doing like $1 million a month, 1.5 million a month, with a team, and they're spending like 250K to 300K a month on ads. They have a sales team of like 30 closers. So we're spending like 25K a month on ads, still doing like 400K, 500K a month. We only have one closer, right? And like a team of 4 setters or 3 setters. So we're making half the money they're making, but they're having to hire 30 closers, spend 10 times as much on marketing every month to make just 2 to 3 times as much as us. So that efficiency in the business comes because we're good at engineering the client's journey, and we're not just lazy. We're not just lazy marketers who just rely on, oh, my VSL funnel is getting me a lot of booked calls. Oh, this new AI. No, fuck AI. This is not AI. This video you guys are watching is not AI. This is me, spent a lot of time listening to a lot of business breakdowns, understanding what makes a business sustainable, and how do you layer in durability and mechanisms in your model, and how do you structure a business so it's durable. Anyway, I'm sorry. Take this really personally because I've learned a lot. I've learned this the hard way of being smart on how you grow the business and not just focused on, oh, I just need more sales calls. Oh, I just need to spend more money on ads for more leads, or I need to get better at sales. No. Once you've figured out that process, you need to get really good at understanding business at scale. Not just being like a school group community designer, or like an appointment setter, or like a salesperson. It's good. Those skills are important when you're starting out, but it's time for everyone who, at least if you watch my content on YouTube, I'd love if you guys can become real like business people and people who are operators, not just little tactics here and there that you got from this guy and this person lying to you that this is the best business model. Because if you guys can see here, even though I push the build and release model, I'm doing everything. I'm doing information, so I'm technically an info product, an infopreneur, but I'm also in a build and releaser, okay, which is kind of like an agency / consulting, but I'm also someone who also does growth partnerships, right? So the old lie of saying that you only need to do info to make a lot of money, or you only need to do agency to make a lot of money, or you need to become a like a growth partner is the way to go. It's stupid. It's not one thing. You're not just gonna, like, Apple doesn't just sell phones. The Apple ecosystem. Do you know how much money they make from their Apple ecosystem? If they only settled to create the devices, the tangible computers like this one I'm using, who knows? What if the materials went up and then they couldn't sustain marketing it and selling it? If, let's say, they weren't as great of designers and actually built good looking, great products, and they were average at building products, I promise you that no one would be buying these Apple products. It's because even the ecosystem, the Apple softwares look great. And then they also get Meta, they get YouTube, they get all these, they get Safari, they get all of these platforms to build on their platform. As someone who's smart and who wants to be free and who wants to change your life, I would love if you can start understanding that you need to be a master at everything, and you need to stack together in the right sequence these different layers in your business, so you don't just rely on 1 or 2, 3 partners who make you most of your income every month, or you're an agency that has scaled to 30 clients and you have 30 employees that you don't even know what they're doing, and then people churn, and then you're not making any more profit, you're stressed out, you're literally lost. Okay? Or be lied and say, oh, the best business to start is an information product because it's infinitely scalable. You can just put it on school and just buy and just charge for a subscription. Guys, try to ask the person who's telling you to become an info person in a school group and charge monthly, and ask them for their churn rate. I can promise you that every 30 days, they almost have to replace the whole entire community. Information gets experienced once, but it's not valuable anymore. So if you do not learn to create value, recurring value, right? The reason why software, someone pays for it every month, is because at any second, my CRM is giving me value. At any second, my iCloud is giving me value. At any second, Lucidchart is giving me value, right? The software that I'm using to make these process maps. So for you, if you think that your information that you created on Looms and you put in your school group is going to retain people in your community, you might as well just go to a facility where they help people who have not mental illness, but who are like slow, where their IQ needs to be helped, right? In those special aid, school group, right? Because you're in La La Land. You live in your dream world, where you think that your guru told you the thing because it's the right thing for you. I personally like to embrace everything. I like to become smart on all different layers, not just take what this guy or this girl is saying as true. Hopefully this was good for you guys, but if you do not have these layers, you're not going to survive in business. I love y'all. Hope this video was helpful. Bye-bye.